Again, I do thank so many of you for coming, some from quite a distance. Let's see, Huntington and Charleston and other places, points east and west, in the south and north of the diocese. Also, I want to thank my brother and sister-in-law, Paul and Pat Brennan, for driving over from Frederick, Maryland. That's a bit of a little trek, but all of you, I appreciate your being here. You know, we're celebrating this year the 175th anniversary of our diocese. We were carved out of the Diocese of Richmond, which only 30 years earlier had been carved out of the Archdiocese of Baltimore. So we have both Richmond and Baltimore represented here in the two bishops. And we remain part of the Baltimore province, along with Wilmington, Richmond, Arlington, and Baltimore itself, of course. So there's all of this happened prior to our Civil War. Huh? We were still part of Virginia at that time. So we go back quite a ways, right? And there's much to be thankful for as we reflect on these 175 years. Many wonderful people, people of great heroism in times of persecution of our people. The Ku Klux Klan was active in this area 100-some years ago. We have wonderful parishes that nourish the faith of our people, schools that did the same. A lot of good works done. Catholic Charities is the largest provider of help to people in need in this state, as it is in the entire nation. So a lot to be thankful for. But there's much to do also, looking forward, especially in the area of sharing our faith with others, our faith in Jesus Christ, known by the long word of evangelization, okay? And offering service. I was so edified by members of our chancery staff who, in the floods that took place here in the middle of June, in which 9 people died and much property of homes, businesses, churches were destroyed, that many of our Catholic people, including our chancery employees and high school students, they went to work to help with the cleanup and sustain those efforts of others who came from elsewhere. And our Catholic Charities will remain, its main way of serving is to stay there. Everyone else has gone home. Catholic Charities stays for the long term, helping people rebuild. So again, I'd like to thank them for what they're doing. But there's so much more that we can do in service for the people of this area. Just this morning, I was at an event at Wheeling Hospital, which was founded even before the diocese was, the same year, but in March of 1850, when the diocese was founded only in July of that year. The bishop, Richard Whalen, and a few Catholic doctors opened a hospital. There wasn't one between Pittsburgh and Cincinnati. They founded one for this area, right? And that continues in operation as a Catholic hospital in union with the West Virginia University Hospital System. And why was I over there at the hospital? Because the hospital will expand to create a cancer center. So out of the foundation created when we transferred the operational hospital to Wheeling University, to the West Virginia University Hospital System, funds were given to us because the hospital system bought all of the equipment in the hospital, and they pay us annual rent. Out of that money, which has to be used for health care connected with Wheeling Hospital, we have made a $10 million gift to that, a lead gift to that cancer center, which will be built in downtown Wheeling. That's a sign of continuing service to the people of this diocese, the people of this state, the people of this region. It's a good thing. We will continue to serve people in need in this state. Now today, the Mary, Queen of heaven and earth. You know, the Queen Mother, you know a little bit of history, Queen Mother was an important figure in royal kingdoms and remains so in places like Britain or Belgium, Thailand, among the Ashanti people in Ghana, in Africa. And what the Queen Mother does, she's the mother of the reigning king or queen, or would be the widow of the king. She brings wisdom and from mediation of conflicts, cultural preservation, holding on to the deep and abiding values of a people, and concern for the little ones, for the insignificant people in the eyes of the world, whether it be children or just the poor. Mary's role, if you think of the wedding scene at Cana in Galilee, towards the beginning of John's Gospel, who was it who noticed that the wine had run out? Not Jesus, his mother, right? If you've been to wedding receptions, is it a good thing for the wine to run out? You know the answer to that. Mary intervened, and she got a change, the best wine they had ever seen or tasted, right? Acting, in a sense, as the Queen Mother who brought concern for a newly married couple to the fore and begged her son to act, okay? That's a hint of her intercessory role in our life in the Catholic Church. In today's gospel, we find Mary at the foot of the cross. Not a happy moment for her. But Jesus at that moment, remember, his arms are nailed. He had to do it with his head, you know. He leans toward his mother and says to the beloved disciple, "There is your mother." And to his mother, his own physical, biological mother, "There is your son." That beloved disciple in the Gospel of John seems to represent all of us who follow Jesus Christ. So Jesus was giving, as he was about to die, his own mother to us as our mother too. King Ahaz, in the first reading, you notice, that guy was a creep. Really. He was a murderer. He was an idolater. He led the people away from the true faith of Israel. And, I can't ask God for a sign of his protection. That would be tempting God. When God himself was saying, "Ask me for a sign, I'll give you one." God, through Isaiah the prophet, he gets the sign anyway. A virgin shall be with child and give birth to a child named Emmanuel. God is with us. That prophecy came to fulfillment when Mary gave birth to Jesus. But before that, she had indicated, unlike Ahaz, who really didn't have much faith, she indicated her faith. She did ask for a sign, prompted by the Holy Spirit. She asked for a sign. What was that sign? The pregnancy of Elizabeth, her kinswoman, who was carrying John the Baptist in her womb. That was a sign Mary asked for and got. We rightly then go to, as Mary said, she said, "I am the handmaid of the Lord, let it be done to me as you have said." She's a model disciple for all of us. And so we rightly go to Mary with our concerns because the Lord wants us to. This takes nothing away from Jesus' lordship. She always defers to him. She told the servants at the wedding feast, "Do whatever he tells you." The Son wants his mother to be close to us and us close to her. Mary is also known as the star of the new evangelization, the sharing of the gospel of Christ with others. Jesus said as he ascended back to heaven, in the end of Matthew's gospel, "Go make disciples of all nations." We clergy, religious, and laity of this diocese have to take his command seriously, rather than let our Catholic faith in West Virginia shrink, not just in numbers, but in relevance to the people of this state. Mary, as the star of the new evangelization, prays for us so we can count on her help through prayer. She reminds us of the need for a personal encounter with her Son. And she serves as an example of reaching out to others to bring them to her Son. You know the wonderful appearance of Mary to Juan Diego in Mexico City in 1531, Our Lady of Guadalupe, right? Do you know that after that appearance, which the bishop initially didn't want to be, who's this crazy fellow telling me that Mary appeared to him, right? In the end, he was convinced, and there were various miracles, and within just a few years, millions of the indigenous people had been baptized and entered the church, whereas prior to that, very few had done so. Why take on the religion of those who just conquered us? But Mary showed up, and she convinced them, this is real. This is different from, this is not, we're not worshiping Spain, we're worshiping the Son of God, represented among us by his mother. So we really need to recognize Mary as that star of evangelization. So we entrust our efforts in this state to her as we reach out to the religiously unaffiliated, of whom there are hundreds of thousands here, and to the absent Catholics in our state. You know, we've worked at the diocesan level to form a plan, but now the parishes and the chaplaincies and schools and fraternal organizations have to develop their local plans. We can give some guidance, but the groundwork has to be done by the people out in the parishes and chaplaincies. And it can be done. I was at a small parish, St. Thomas in Gassaway, West Virginia, for the Easter Vigil this year. It is a very small parish, but 13 people entered the Catholic Church in that parish this year. Why? They see a parish that reaches out to people in need. That parish has a pantry that feeds 900 people a month in a county with no grocery store. They have a ministry to pregnant women who need help. And they ask, when people come to the pantry, there's a little box with a sign, write down your prayer intentions, we'll pray for them for you. People responded to that outreach to them and came into the church in union with us. Or in our Newman Center over in Morgantown, West Virginia University, 26 young people entered the Catholic Church. They're looking for more than just parties and studies and sports. All of that can be good, but they want more. We want a solid foundation for their faith. So what I'm saying to you is, there's a harvest, there's a field there to harvest. The Lord is saying, go harvest it. Take my word seriously. Go make disciples of all nations. And it's not just about numbers for the sake of numbers. It's about bringing Christ to people, as Mary did in Mexico, and as she does also many Marian shrines around the world. So we implore Mary, our Queen Mother, the star of the new evangelization, to pray for us and to guide us in our efforts to win more souls for her Son, for their good and for the glory of God.